Hi YouTube! A new video today about making some alternative pub budget around 200 600 div, maybe a bit more. We'll see about the item. I want to give you alternative because those Forbidden Plum and Flesh Jewel are really expensive right now. I'm getting my helmet immunity through my Tamlet Jewel, the Militant Faith, and there is pretty much none of those exist anymore in the market. People are buying those, flipping those, etc. And I just want to give you some alternative on how you can make a really good Inquisitor with okay defense, really good damage, okay clear. Because we have alternative, you don't have to go for the exact setup that I'm using. So, right, so I'll make two different pub. We're gonna go over this one first, and I will talk about the other one. So, um, we're gonna go over the item. 2-1 with Ghost Enchant. You don't have to go for the exact same one. If you want to cut some Divine on your build, you think those are too expensive, you can remove the Torment Spirit. Like the item itself is really fairly easy to craft. It's just +1/+1. 3 crafted mod. It's a 5 mod item with 2 crafted mod. It's actually a 4 mod item. On the trade, crafted mod, like that, there is one for 70 div, which is better than the one that I have in my palm. This one got caster speed. Can go up for 100 divine. Already crafted, like that one is a really good one. 100 div. Why not going for that? If you want to go cheaper, you remove Torment Spirit and it will be way cheaper. You could go even more expensive with Explode Implicit. I don't know if we have some here in the research, but Explode Explicit, uh, it's um it's about like 200 div, I think. 230, 250, and those are pretty okay craft right now. So if you want to go more, you can buy some Explode Implicit that will be better and that will fix a lot of stuff in your build. Alright, those weapon rates. Helmet, classic 8 link helmet. Nothing crazy there. I just buy pick up one from the trade. I copy past. It was 80 div, I think. I just go for +3 spell crit, initiator of conk, initiator of hypo, +1 AoE craft on the Archdemon crown, and good to go. For the body armor here, it's absolutely nothing crazy. It's really fairly easy to craft. Even the implicit are pretty cheap. It's just +1 max and feast taken. Those you don't even need to use conflict orb to get those implicit. You could go for +2 and more feast taken if you want. Basically, body is here just to provide a bunch of armor, energy shield, some regen, chaos res. You could even go for flat fist mitigation on suffix, and we craft percent armor energy shield here. Crafting this one should be fairly easy. You could either go for fractured mod. I mean, you probably will go for fractured mod. You could get flat armor max, yes, hybrid, fractured, life fracture, regen fracture, chaos rex fracture. Like any fractured mod here will be good. Um, I've been making one my old body. That was my old body there. I got Abai, a basis, 8 flat fizz, Ice spam reduce crit. I'm not even including the Essence spam reduce crit here. And I just finished the push fixes with Aldrich Currency, Matron, Reforge Life. The body here should be fairly easy to get, and if you want to go way higher on the budget, you can end up with a body that give when this one is mirrored here just because of the ancient, but it's like 700 yes and 3k 5 armor, so you can go way higher on the armor and on the energy shell on the body. Gloves, temple mod. We are getting our convert here. Just temple mod life. It's also a way on the implicit we go free spread. You could go a nerve if you don't feel the need of the free spread for defense. And we got convert physical here. The other convert part we got it on the lighting mastery that give 40% here. So that allows us to free up our prefixes, an implicit, and we can go leech. So we do not need to get some leech on cluster. I will talk about the cluster after. Boots here. We decide to go for some avoid element. Those might be a bit expensive because it's the highest tier of the avoid elements. And it's avoid elements essence. And the rest of our avoid element coming from a grand spectrum that give us the 100% avoid element. Those might be expensive to craft. I think these boots here, I pick up them from the trade website for relatively cheap. I think less than 20 divine, and those were actually pretty good with life regen fracture, some life regeneration rates. I assume it should be fairly easy to make one like that. Once again, you could go for fractured mod, and then you will essence spam until you got good suffixes, prefixes. I have 7 grand? Wait, hold on. I have 7 grand? Does that work? Wait, I actually have 7 grand. I'm actually trolling in this one. Hold on. We fucked up. Wait, no, I don't have 7. I do? One, two, three, four. I do. Um, Wait, we're just gonna fix that one sec. Which one it is? I have two undo? I'm a blind? Typical puny ninja build. I think we're blind. Avoid element, endurance charge, frenzy charge, and max life. Oh, this one is the frenzy charge one. Yeah, oh, I forgot to swap that one. Yeah, it's the frenzy charge one. Because we get our frenzy charge in this one. If I can find it. Alright. Okay, we go back on so the boots. Sorry for the webcams back. Um, the boots, yeah, avoid helmet might be a bit expensive to craft, but it could be worth it. I got another pub with regular boots, a bit more cheaper, and no need to get a void element there. But this could be a way to get your void element in the build, running those avoid element boots plus the spectrum avoid element. There is other way to get avoid element. In the other pub, we're going purity of elements. You could go, as someone said it in chat, you could go Storm Shroud and avoid shock on one of your flasks because you are using Mage Blood. Oh, there is different way to get avoid element in your build. In this one, I just decide to go for some avoid element and boots and the Grand Spectrum. On the amulet, this is not expensive mist focused amulet. This is a regular +2 life cast speed multi. Those are all T2 mod except the old spell and lighting. And an amulet like this will do the job absolutely for the build. Caster speed good for Penance. Brand range really comfy to play with. Not even synthesized, not even double. How does it call? Double annoyed. And you can fairly easy go for lower life, no multi, no caster speed, etc. You could adapt depending what there is available on the market or what you could afford crafting. We could make video on crafting a unit like this. It's not really complicated. Ring, I'm a big fan of Death Rush, as you know, so we put Death Rush here. Adrenaline, really good for mapping. Movement speed, caster speed, flat fizz mitigation. It's pretty comfy. On the ring, we go on slot. We just essence spam multi until caster speed. I got a Veil, Fire and Chaos res. You don't even need that Veil. Just a regular res will be fine, and you could swap to adapt your res. Prefix, I think it's T2 or T3 life with non-channeling. Or you could even go Vel mod, reduce mana cost and non-channeling to have better mana sustain. The belt will be a Mage Blood. We are getting our Explode in this build with OEFN. In the other pub, I go a different way. On the flask, Topaz crit to fill up the crits, Ruby with regen, Sapphire with piston armor, and a Quicksilver with movement speed. About the Flame and Flesh and the tree, like in my current pop, I'm going bottom with the Militant Faith, and I got my element immunity this way, and I'm using a expensive flame, but you don't have to. In this one, we are using Unwearing Crusade. Unwearing Crusade will provide you some all elemental relic that gives you three different aura, anger, and traded wrath. Hatred and wrath are pretty cool in our build. They give already huge amount of damage, and it allows us to free up some 250% aura, so that's really cool. They do not gain scale by the aura effect, keep that in mind, but this is still pretty powerful, and those are really cheap right now. You can have a set of those for 2D Divine when I'm recording the video, or even less. Hopefully they will stay at these prices, and if they go to the moon somehow, I have some other alternative and I will remake a video so you could go cheaper. Forbidden Flame and Flash. As you see, we are running Grand Spectrum. Because Grand Spectrum is like quite cool. We can have the -3 endurance charge, and -3 endurance charge is a lot of defense. We're getting where I have element immunity with the Grand Spectrum, and the other one is percent life. And it give a bunch of life, pretty cool. So those are for the Flame and Flash. On the large cluster, we are using one that give Sadist and Snowstorm. So those are pretty cool. Give a bunch of damage. Bunch of damage in this one. You could go cheaper if you want. You could fix your res there. I've been using one. You can probably see it here, I think. Yeah, like that one was just my leech here with all res. So large cluster can be a good way to fix your resistances if you're struggling. If you want to sacrifice a bit of damage to fix your res. Because like fixing res in this pub was a bit complicated. And the other one is just the regular Storm Rider. This is how we are generating our power charge. Storm Rider with nothing else. Like the cluster, I think I pick it up on the trade for really low. If you want to go higher, you could get Storm Rider and another notable. It's a cold one. I think you can have Storm Rider on Lightning one as well, or even Elemental. I will let you guys find a really good cluster with Storm Rider. Classic triple Grand Design Remarkable, because those are needed for the build. Grand Design, Brain Attachment Range, Damage, Duration. It's all we want for Penance, and 3 Remarkable, so we're casting 2 Brain at once, and a bunch of caster speed, pretty cool. I added also another medium cluster that give AoE, so our explode radius is 28, so you will be comfy on the explode radius. OEFN is our explode sources, even with a 30% chance explode. Here it's 25 explode, but just by a 30% explode, it will make a different 25-30%, so go for a 30% one. So those are about the cluster. The rest of the jewel, I fucked up, and here you will probably go for life elemental, crit multi, life crit multi, and corrupted blood. Over here, because I forget to add a corrupted blood immunity in the build. But yeah, probably life, corrupted blood. If you can afford with other damage mod, you could go for caster speed, area damage, elemental damage, global damage, multi-dual wield, multi-lighting, multi-spell, global multi, caster speed dual. But there is many good mod you can go for dual. Obviously, best one would be multi. I think caster speed would be also a good one too. Watcher's Eye for this one, we are going for, as always, the best damage, the mod one. Physical is extra lighting brass. This is one of the jewels that I've been using for a long time with Conground 10% increased damage taken. Watcher's Eye mod, there is plenty of good Watcher's Eye mod we can go for. We are using Vras, Hatred, Zeal, Precision, Vitality. There is many good god you can move for. Many good mod you can go for, like multi-precision, caster speed Zeal, increased lighting Vras, Conground damage Zeal. You could even grab a convert Vras, so you realize you can free up prefixes on your gloves, so you could go damage with liching, so it will be like a 40% increased damage mod on your Watcher if you swap with the mod on your gloves. So you have a lot of flexibility here, but just one of the base damage one is lighting as extra Vras. It's a really cool one. I had on top of that minus cost clarity. The cost is 44 in the build, and our mana regen is 125. We are not spamming brand, right? We are not right-clicking brand, so you should be comfy even without the jewel mod. On the rest of the tree, the classic Rimbinder, the brand notable here, we got some brand duration here, brand duration over here. If you feel comfy on brand duration and you want to invest into more brand attachment range, you can grab those 2 points over here. Those are good too. I decided to go for more duration because our brand range is fairly okay right now with the brand range amulet. I could show you this is the brand attachment range. It's fairly okay. So yeah. The classic AoE node along with the AoE cluster to get decent explode radius. Some we pick up the lighting wheel here. It allows us to get the last conversion part and increase shock against crit chance against shock enemy. Like to fill up the crit chance. We have fairly low crit chance right now. Like it could be higher. I mean 100% plus or more. So when you don't have a sentence mark, you got decent um, decent crit chance. Some live AoE reservation cluster, and we pick up this armor and energy shield mastery because all over our gear is armor and energy shield. So at the end, you are like okay on the tanking. We got pretty decent max hit. It's nothing crazy. We got 11k on Fizz and 40k 80. This is not with the automation steel scale. Steel skin is off. Oh, it go a bit higher if you go with steel skin. About the gem setup, Penance Brain, Swift Brain, Inspiration, crit damage. On our life, Precision, Vitality, Clarity. The classic Guardian Blessing setup with Ray, Spectre, Mid Shield. Spectre we are using, it's the Dark Marionette. Dark Marionette, you can buy those on trade. Those are pretty cheap. Doesn't matter which tier you go for. On our body, we are using Zeal, Petrified Blood, so we can get Penance Treatment that way and Permaleech. Um, And since we free up a lot of mana reservation, because we are running the Forbidden Flame and Flesh Jewel that give us Hatred and Wrath, I decide to go for Herald of Ash and Herald of Purity. Herald of Ash will help you a bit on clear, and Herald of Purity is a really good damage one. So those two are really good damage one. That's a good damage increase here. Righteous Fire, Ascendant's Mark, Flame Dash, and Arcane Surge Classic. And I think that's pretty much it for this one. We are going for Elegant Breeze and Frenzy Charge generation on it here. So we get our Frenzy Charge. And once again, in the other pub, I include another Timeless Jewel. So if you want more defense, you could go for the other one. Worth mentioning, we have a Spell Leech here. One node. It's fairly okay to get. You could go synthesize mod on cluster on G-Wall with spell lich, but for 1 point, I think it's okay. We are level 98. We are helping Galera to sustain the res, because res are a bit annoying in this one. You will probably, gloves. I added lighting resistances because I was in the need of that. So res, it will be up to you to fix your res. We have a free jewel socket there. You could grab some res here. That could be an option too. We go branking because we don't have stun immunity. If you feel you don't need the branking stuff, you could go for other one. I think the 10% reduced damage taken over time is a really cool one, and debuff expire faster. It's really cool too. Minor Pantheon, once again, it's up to you. You could go for Effect of Curses. It's literally up to you here. You look at it and you choose which one you prefer. Shakari is fine too. Okay, so that's it for this one. So the damage pretty decent, movement speed pretty okay. Max hit taken. Once again, we are not supposed to stand still inside a pack of mob. We are brain play style. We stay safe. We cast our brain. We explode everything. We kill everything pretty fast. So that's it for this one. The other one, the thing that I've changed here is how I get my helmet immunity and my timeless jewel, just so you guys can get a different idea. And I think might this one I have four grand spectrum. Yeah, in this one I have four grand spectrum again. Uh, I have two minus frenzy here. So you have a free jewel socket here again. So what basically changed? We are changing our body setup here. We decide to go for purity of elements. So we are removing two herald. We are dropping a bit of damage, and we go purity of elements. So we are able to change our boot setup for like stuff like that. A bit easier to craft. Once again, here you select a fractured mod. If you want me to explain in the video how to craft boots and body, I could. So a bit of region, some action speed. With an empty suffixes, you could go for um, probably some res or other stuff for chaos res if you really want to. Suffixes here is up to you. Effect of non damaging is a good way to scale your shock and get better freeze on mobs. We decide to go for Progenesis instead of Explode Flask. Our Explode, we are getting it from the body armor. Body armor here, this body is like quite good. It's available on trade when I've made a video for 50 Divine. You don't have to go for elevated for feast taken. You could still go in the old pop, grab a more tankier body and go for explode flask, but I just wanted to show you that you can get explode there. You could even get explode weapon here. It's a bit more expensive, but you could get your explode as well on the weapon. This body for 50 divine is fairly good. You could craft that one. The guy that's selling the body decide to go for elevated explode, and then he will do some awakener's orb with putting a lock blue on the item with the menagerie, and then they look at the result, and then he reset and he go for again and again until he got a really good outcome. But that body is fairly good. You don't even have to go for fist taken as cold. You could go. For like a regular explode and good suffixes and good life and all good prefixes on my shield. But yeah, I just want to showcase you that you could actually go for explode fist body here if you want till waiting for like mirror tier weapon, or you go back explode flask works fine too. And in this one we also change our tablet jewel, and since we are not getting that much yes from the body, you could go for Corrupted Soul. That's a keystone provided by in the name of Doriani and the Glorious Vanity. It allows us to gain a bunch of life as extra yes, and also splitting our damage in half. So when you take a 1k hit, you take 500 on your life pool and on your ES pool. It also works for Righteous Fire damage. So we have better sustain of Righteous Fire with Corrupted Soul. And the notable here, you can find a timeline jewel. It's not complicated. You go on pub, Glorious Vanity, you select the keystone you want. I'm looking for like this one. And then I was looking for convert. There is other good node you can go for. There is convert lighting gear, and then you search, and as you can see, there is many of those on the trade. But the cool thing about the convert here, it allows us to reach 50% convert with this node here and the 40% convert from this one. So we are able to swap out gloves crafted mod for increased damage with leeching. So it's a really good damage increase, 43% damage leeching. On the gloves, here I just show you that you could also go for unnerved. Those are fairly good gloves because we have brand attachment range, suffixes Veil. You don't have to go for that. Veil orb are really expensive. You could go like way cheaper. You don't even need Temple mod Fracture. You could go regular Temple mod with decent life, and it will be up to you, right? You look what they are available on trade, what you could craft. We have Eldritch implicit and stuff. And I guess that's it. The rest of the build is pretty much the same. We decide to go for minus frenzy here since we don't need the void element grand spectrum compared to the other one. We still have the AoE cluster that provides us some pretty good amount of AoE for the clear. The rest of the tree is pretty much the same. Since we have 3D of element, our res is really high, so we can drop some res on our gear. I decided to go for kill all on the bandit because I don't need the extra res. Flask setup is still the same. Crit, regen, percent armor, and movement speed. And if you want to do not run a Purity of Element and you want to use this free socket here to use Storm Shroud Jewel, and then on one of your flasks you go Void Shock, so you get your Void Element that way. And you could go for other stats here. You could go for Determination if you want. So there's plenty of flexibility. So I just wanted to give you like alternative kind of endgame pop you could go for, depending if you go for enchant weapon, stuff like that. But it should be if you go for ghost weapon, I think it's around 400, 600 div depending price of market. Like once again, like this body is a bit more crazier. It sounds really insane, but actually it's not that insane to make. It's not that expensive to get a fairly similar result. And instead of buying like 500 divine, I guess we could check the prices of those conviction of power right now. Those are 130 div, and this one is 19. So it's like 210 divine for the combo of flame. So yeah, it's like a third of the prices of what we have here together, altogether. So hopefully the price of flame will not go crazy, and you will be able to buy 10 divine each or lower, because those are really powerful, and I think they are a bit underrated because it free up so much mana reservation. Those are pretty powerful, especially for Penance. And I forgot to mention that in both pub we are picking up a minus maximum endurance charge here, and we are going for the Anoint minimum endurance charge. If you have if you want to add more aura into your build, you still can. Anoint Charisma, for example, remove this point here, put a point somewhere else. Uh, and yeah, that's it for this setup with the Ring Crusade Flame. It's really complicated for me to give you a bob and say you should go that way building your character. There is so many different way to build a character in Path of Exile, and finding the best one is literally what you prefer. People will probably prefer to go with determination, sacrificing a bit of damage, a bit of clear, and go way more on the defense. I personally like having like a bit of each, like really good clear, good movement speed, okay defense, really high damage. This is how I like to play my band build with decent regen. Um, and hopefully we're not gonna have some dirty flipper for the flame. And yeah, as I say, it's complicated for me to give you all of the information because there is also other damage you could go for. You could drop the minus frenzy. You could go for the militant faith one that gives you more spell damage per power charge. So you are dropping. You don't need to generate power charge that way. Oh, if you guys want another setup, because flame there is really interesting flame you can go for early on, really cheap one, Sana Purples, 100% more activation frequency on the last quarter of your brand. Like when you're fighting a bosses and you got the 100% more activation frequency, it's absolutely insane for Penance. You're pulsing at 20 stacks. It's a really cheap budget option you can add for your build. There is also a really interesting one. This one is a bit more expensive, but Sanctuary of Salt is a really good one. Less mana cost on skill, you are fixing your mana cost issue, you have plenty of reservation efficiency. This is a really cool one, and you get some mana as extra ES, so good one here too. So hopefully this video will help you on how to gear like a kind of endgame penance build without any military gear. Yeah, if you have any question regardless the build, just let me know in the comments. And see you in the next video. Bye, YouTube.